The genitive case, categories and name on Latin cases. I have not listed all the kinds of genitive identified by grammarians. There comes a point when such exercises in categorization become self-serving and even an obstacle to understanding. In what follows, I have tried not to leave out any important parts of the whole picture, while selecting especially those genitives whose classification helps in translation or understanding of a foreign idiom. Genitive of possession, self-explanatory. The genitive case indicates who possesses an object. There are, however, many relationships that are merely analogous to possession that can be loosely fit under this category: my child, my God, perhaps even my man. Genitive of description, essentially all genitives used with nouns describe, but the grammarians like to use this term for the more qualitative descriptions. For example, vir magni sapientiae equals a man of great wisdom equals a very wise man. When used precisely as a technical term of standard grammar, the genitive of description has the further rule that it must be composed of a noun plus adjective. In other words, you would not say vir sapientiae, that would be sapiens. Genitive of material, this term identifies the use of the genitive to specify the material out of which something is made: a statue of marble, rivers of milk and honey, books of examples, and so on. You can see that it is just a specific use of the genitive to create an adjectival modification. Genitive of characteristic, this name sounds almost redundant with the category genitive of description, but grammar is a technical study and this is a technical term with a very precise meaning. When the genitive case is found with the verb to be, or equivalent expression, apparently not modifying a noun but followed by an infinitive, we have a genitive of characteristic. The name is handy because it reminds you that an easy formulaic translation will supply the English word characteristic as the noun that goes with the genitive. Thus boni oratoris est bene dicere. Equals it is characteristic of a good orator to speak well. This kind of genitive is also called the predicate genitive because it is the predicate, the modification that describes the subject, which is the infinitive. Subjective and objective genitive. Nouns that express verbal notions, often nouns made from verbs and verbals, may indicate who the subject or the object, or both, of the verbal notion is by placing them in the genitive. Sometimes the verbal relationship is not immediately apparent. Consider, severitatis invidii equals hatred that arises from your severeness, or, more obviously, an objective genitive, hatred of your severeness. There is no difference in form between the subjective and the objective genitive. Only context can make a final determination. However, there are norms. First, word order, the objective genitive usually comes first. This is only a guide, however, since word order may always be changed for emphasis. Second, adjectival forms are preferred for the subjective genitive, presumably because the subject of an action modifies the action more directly than the object. Consider even the English, my love for you. Here the possessive pronoun, my, indicates who is the subject of the hidden verb love, I love you. Similarly, divine love specifies the God or gods as the ones who love. Partitive genitive. This category specifies that the genitive is used for the larger whole of which something is a part. The simplest example is pars civitatis equals part of the state. Here, of course, the state, civitas, is the whole, and this party is the part, pars. This category may serve as a useful reminder that the English expression all of the state is not partitive, since all is not a part, consequently, you cannot use the genitive in Latin, you just